Well, hello, fabulous people. This is Naomi Tucker with the Planitonapost It podcast, coming at you with episode 13 of the podcast. I invite you to get your favorite beverage, whether it be coffee or maybe you're settling in with a glass of wine. Regardless of what it is, I hope you hang with me for a few moments as we discuss our episode today. Today, I wanted to get into, will the event industry return? And really just talking about some discussions that are out there in the event industry and where we're headed and what we can do in the meantime. Before we get started, I wanted to go ahead and give you a couple of updates. The first update is we do have a new book club. I'm very, very excited for this book. It is Judy Holler's book, Fear is My Homeboy. Now, Judy is like an amazing individual. She's so lighthearted. She glows when she's on the stage, and she just has a wonderful personality and a vibrancy about her. So I'm really excited about her book. She's been a part of the event industry for some time. I remember meeting her back in 2012 when I was president of MPI, and we had a discussion, and she had a vision for what her path was in life. And I love that. And I'm just so excited to be able to just see her. And just see her growth. So it's been amazing. I'm excited about this book, looking forward to jumping in, and I hope that you are too. Now, if you have been in this season and you're a little fearful of what's to come, or perhaps you just really don't do well with fear in your life, and that's something that you have to work on, this is the book for you. And you know what? Let's tackle that together and read about it and see how we can apply that to our lives and help us. So join me in helping kick fear in the butt. June 3rd is the date of the book club. You can go to planetonapostit.com/book club in order to RSVP, and I will go ahead and send you a link. I would love to be able to have it be a participatory time, so we might try Zoom this time. I know last time we did have a couple of people that were able to jump on. I would hope that you would be able to do that as well. So this will be great. June 3rd for our next book club selection, where we'll be discussing Fear is My Homeboy by Judy Holler. Now, before we get started, please go ahead, hit that little like button. Go ahead and share it. Go ahead and subscribe to the podcast so that you will be updated each and every time when a podcast drops. So I think that's it. Let's get started with our discussion. So recently, there's been several blog posts, opinions, articles that have been put out about the event industry, where it's going, how we're going to change, how we'll pivot, and what is next. And I love this type of conversation because it allows us to come up with our different ways of how we'll get through the industry. And it's just really great to be able to see the connectivity that's happening on social media about what we love best about this industry and then where the industry is going. I really enjoyed an article that was posted on Medium by Nicholas Rivero from MEPTech, and he was really talking about that our industry isn't the same as others. And he is absolutely right. COVID has basically impacted everything. And although our social dynamic has been really affected, many of our working dynamics have. And there has been a pickup in our economy where different industries are able to pivot and change. For example, restaurants, they're able to do curbside pickup. You can do delivery only. How many of us are now into Instacart like nobody's business? We just love to do Instacart and have our groceries delivered to our houses. I mean, that business has really picked up since this whole thing. Now, also curbside pickup or selling liquor on the go. Some places have been really able to pivot, but the event industry, we have been able to pivot in some areas. We've been able to pivot to virtual. Many planners and organizations are embracing virtual meetings. We've been able to learn a lot more about virtual meetings than we ever have had in the past, to understand the platforms that are out there, to understand how they can be made and pivoted and of use for our events. But virtual only can go so far. I think I've heard several of my friends say that although we're very thankful for virtual, we now know that virtual will never be able to replace face-to-face, because there is a special kind of magic that happens when we're all together, when we're creating those shared moments in time. And Nicholas also says that as well in his article. When we're putting those events together, there's just so much personal touches that we can add to the event, and there's so just the energy of live events really fuels us, and to be a part of that, and no matter what shape or form that we are part of that, it's just an amazing feeling, and it is magical. So it made me think about, how can we make that happen? Are there any other ways that we can pivot our business besides virtual? And it's worth a little bit of thought, because in terms of the economy and in terms of how different experts are trying to tell us that perhaps there might be another wave of this virus, we are going to have to be able to at least be prepared to withstand another season. And are we prepared for that? Are our businesses strong enough to be prepared for that? Or is there another way that we can reimagine events so that it will continue to keep us going? So that is definitely of some thought, figuring out how else we can be able to pivot during this time. And in one way, I was thinking, we are highly administrative, and we have excellent attention to detail, and we can do things when other people cannot. And perhaps there is an effect that we can have in our community and bring that to our community to be able to help. There might be some way that we can localize what we do a little bit more and be able to do it more on a smaller scale versus a larger scale. And that might be something that you could get into. So really think outside of the box on how you can deliver events in this time, because we might have to last a longer time to do so. Another aspect of this article that Nicholas put together is him just talking about, there's so many people in our industry that do things because they love it. I can't tell you, I have so many friends that are travel directors that they just love to go from event to event, get on site, do what they need to do. Meanwhile, they're in a wonderful, lovely place, and they are able to travel and have this road family. And that's just amazing. And sometimes these people, even the planners, they can live a life in the shadows, as Nicholas puts it. They can be thankless, unseen, hidden away in a wardrobe full of black. How many people have just their penguin suits, their black and whites that they're probably not wearing right now? But this is what we do. We always have our blacks, and we go to the events. We make sure that they're seamless, and most of the time, other than within our community, it is a thankless job. So we just need to lift up those people in our community and really just recognize that there are others in our community that really have been devastated by this whole situation. It's not just the organizations that are losing events and the event planners that are doing them, but there also are security staff and trucking and shipping logistics and production vendors and DMCs and artists and speakers. Everybody is affected by this, and we have so many people that our industry touches that this is definitely hurting them. So what I've been seeing, which has been amazing, is keep in contact with those that you work together with a lot throughout the year. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know that you're here for them. Just keep them updated in terms of where you stand in regards to your event. It can really help them in terms of to understand when they can either expect, more business, or if things need to pivot. It just helps them to be able to recalibrate their organizations as well as they move forward. I know just the other day I saw that I think JW Marriott, I forgot which date JW Marriott, but it's a particular Marriott in the chain had to furlough several employees. And it's just devastating to start to hear a lot of these articles come out with that information. I believe Hyatt did too. The layoffs are not done. Every single day that we're having no events, there's a potential for organizations to not be able to go on and have to change what they do. So definitely keep in touch with those in the industry, and let's really just try to think about how we can do what we do differently in order to help some people survive and still be a part of an industry that they love. Another thought that Nicholas had that I really respected is he was saying that, although we were one of the first ones to get hit, we're probably going to be the last to come back. And he mentioned that, the industry probably won't return when cities begin to reopen. So for them to start doing music festivals, concert tours, and actually doing concerts, it probably will take anywhere from months to that usually take anywhere from months or years to plan or coordinate. When they come back, you might not see them back right away. So we're talking maybe even a year's time. So that's something really to take into consideration if you're a planner or if you're someone who supports a program, that you might really need to know how long is this going to last, and if I'm able to sustain myself until things start kicking back in. Or perhaps I need to shift into virtual meetings, planning virtual meetings, or getting jobs in a field that's actually thriving right now. Perhaps that's something that you would need to consider, especially if it means that events might not get back for another year, or 6 months to a year at the very least. So he sums up his article with things that you can do for now. And I thought that these were really key to communicate. The first one he mentioned was to rest. He brought up the thought of we are usually on the road all the time. It's long hours, it's late nights. Many of us travel back to back for events, and at that, we're also trying to spend time with our families, or making sure our kids are okay, and making sure that our spouses are, taken care of. And this is offering us an opportunity to rest, which let's gladly accept that gift of resting. He also mentions to communicate. Like I mentioned earlier on, it's important that we continue to talk about how this is affecting us, what we're seeing, how we're seeing things shift, and where we're seeing things going, because it might be your unique idea that helps refuel the industry with a different idea. So definitely continue to talk to your friends, continue to really push the envelope on how to plan events, and continue to make those ideas happen and bring those ideas in so that we can start to see some traction in our industry. And the last one he said was to create. This is a time of creative renaissance, I believe he says. Really bring those ideas to the table, really try to reimagine, rethink, recreate new concepts of event planning. Maybe there's different ways that it can be done differently on a smaller scale. Start to really think about those and put your ideas and really innovate them and create, because that's what we need right now. And then I would just add to continue to care. Our industry is one that we care extremely about the organizations and the events that we plan. Our events are purposeful. We want to make sure that we're bringing just nothing but magical moments into people's lives through events, but you also have that magic every single day. When you're going to get your groceries, there are magical moments and connections that are being made that aren't really within the confines of an event. So continue to spread your magic, continue to add your sparkle to your everyday. So would love to be able to hear from you on what is your story during this whole situation that we're in. Are you willing to share your story with me? We'd love to just hear how you're doing, how you've overcome, or perhaps you're not, and want to be able to provide a community around what's happening and what you're going through right now. So I'll leave a link to allow you to be able to do that and share your story. I really hope that everyone's doing wonderfully well, that you're doing the best that you can. If there's anything that I ever can do for you, please let me know. But I agree with Nicholas. Let's use this time to rest, use this time to communicate, use this time to create. And like I said, I would add, use this time to care. Well, that's it, my beautiful people. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Planitonapost It podcast. I ask for you to go ahead and like and share it, and also visit the website at planetonapostit.com. You'll find an array of blog posts and a reservoir of the previous podcasts there. And I am looking forward to being able to talk to you again soon on another episode. Again, like, share, subscribe, and leave a message, please, to let me know what you thought about this episode and if any of it resonated with you. Have a wonderful rest of your week.